This is from last year. Set rotation, the 7 deadly sins of TCG design part 1.
Most trading card games last only 2 years. Time and time again, we see them make the same mistakes and crumble for the same reason. Falling victim to the
Oh, hold on. We can just see the sins. Wait, let's see.
Most trading card games last...
I haven't heard of this series. Set rotation before the age of 3. So he's saying that your game needs to be at least 3 years old before you have set rotation.
Only 2 years.
Use what is life decking, chat? This I don't know what this means. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! I assume we don't have this.
Time and time again.
Have unmixable attributes. Nah, yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh! You can mix Yu-Gi-Oh! You can do whatever the fuck you want. Like attributes. This is not a game where it's like you can only play fire with fire. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! You can do whatever the fuck you want.
We see them make the same mistake.
Use a non-standard card size.
Makes and crumbles.
Hey, another host! Pog! Smitty! Thank you very much for the host, Smitty. Smitty's in the house. How was your stream, Smitty? Hopefully it was awesome. And thank you for the raid. I keep saying host, I'm sorry. Okay, now we got the fake host too. Now, well, those are real. Those are hosts. I'm sorry. Anyways, base the game on a movie. Yeah, this will flop your what's it called? Like this is like Harry Potter card game. This will flop your card game because the thing is, as soon as the movie's not popular, I'm sorry. As soon as the movie's not popular anymore, what happens to the card game, chat? With television shows and stuff, you can just make more. You can just keep making spin-off series infinitely.
Same reason. Falling victim to...
Require more than the deck and some dice. Okay. Neglect...
The 7 dead...
Reminder text? Some of these aren't a... Oh my god, they made an Austin Powers card game?
Same reason. Falling victim to...
Chat, press 1 to quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And become an Austin Powers trading card game tuber. Like, today. Today, chat. Austin Powers card game is the future. Even though he hasn't made, there haven't been an Austin Powers movie in like 15 years.
2.
And also, the third movie, hot take, was fucking trash. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the 3 Austin Powers movie. The first one, amazing. The second one is actually, I think, one of the best comedies ever. Like, Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me is... That shit is, like, God status. The third one was not good. Like, I mean, was it horrible? I don't know. Beyonce was terrible in that shit. I love... It just... Come on, chat. Anyone who tries to tell you the third one was as good as the first 2 is just kidding themselves. The second movie is, like, top 5 comedy ever. That movie was so fucking good. That's the one with Fat Bastard.
7 deadly sins of trading card games.
God damn. This guy makes me feel better about my physical appearance. Chat. Just saying. Bald. He's fat. Anyways. So I don't know. I mean, I like his beard. I mean, yeah, you know, us beard guys got to stick together, but I don't know, you know, like.
Oh boy, I just had to make a list of 7 deadly trading card game sins, and it just
gonna be cat when
had to start with probably the most divisive subject in all.
Press 1 if this is me at the end of the year, chat. My diet fails, and this is me at the end of the year. Stop working out. And it's just like, well, you know, life is what it is at this point.
All trading card games, set rotation.
Set rotation is a practice employed by many trading card games where the cards released for play essentially have a shelf life of about 1 to 2 years, where they are considered legal for use in official tournaments, leagues, and events, after which they are rotated out and can no longer be used in standard play. There are several reasons that might be given when introducing set rotation. to keep the number of options manageable, to sell more cards, to allow problematic or failed gameplay experiments to expire naturally, to sell more cards, to prevent some antediluvian combo made with cards printed 20 years apart, to sell more cards.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Hell yeah, chat. That happens in this card game all the time.
Failed gameplay experiments to expire naturally, to sell more cards.
Yeah.
To prevent
Yo, press 1 if that's Yu-Gi-Oh, chat. Random cards like fucking Smoke Grenade of the Phantom Thief, 20-year-old card, randomly becomes fucking broken. Like, that is Yu-Gi-Oh all day and night. That's why our ban list will never end. Because cards from like 15 years ago just randomly become broken. Grinder Golem. Grinder Golem has sucked forever. And then you release a mechanic where tokens are good. Boom. Infinitely broke or instantly broken. Thank you very much, Smitty, coming through with the Twitch resubscription. 7 months in a row, over half the year of grown ass manliness. Thank you so much, Smitty. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is actually an unsolvable problem for Yu-Gi-Oh, chat. Like, the only way to solve it is just the ban list, because there are so many examples. Samsara, Lotus, Grinder Golem, like Smoke Grenade of Thief is like just a great one. That card is from like one of the first 6 sets or some shit like that.
Some antediluvian combo made with cards printed 20 years apart, to sell more cards, to maintain a flattened power curve, and of course,
that is why I always thought, chat, that set rotation was made. This right here, to maintain a flat power curve. What this means, if you guys don't know, it came out in Legacy of Darkness. This means that you don't have to have power creep. If you have set rotation, you do not need power creep in your game, which it's still like, it kind of blows my mind that Pokemon now has like monsters with, what did you say, Big Pimpin'? So like 350 HP or something like ridiculous. And I guess that I'm super boomer and I never played Pokemon, but I'm still thinking about like Charizard with 120 HP. And I'm like, how the hell are they at 350 now when you have set rotation? If you have set rotation, the new cards don't have to be more powerful than the old cards because you can't play the old cards. Like, we don't have to make Zodiac. Like, we don't have to make Zodiac broken than every other Exceed deck that came before it because you're going to play it because you can't play the old shit anyways. That's like one of the main things about set rotation. If you have set rotation, you don't need power creep. Every deck can just be like ABC power level. You don't need to make, more powerful archetypes like Zodiac or like Infernity. Every deck can just be like pretty stable.
To sell more cards.
And people hate it. Yeah, they do. You do. Even if you say you don't, you do.
People get invested in their collections, and to hear that what they have is now basically worthless doesn't make them happy. The only time people are really happy when rotation comes along is when a particularly problematic card or element is removed from the game pool, and honestly, isn't there another way to handle that?
So, as you can see, it is very, very easy to get set rotation wrong. Magic the Gathering themselves actually got it wrong the first time they rolled it out, and in their history have twice essentially doubled the lifespan of each of their cards. First, basically right away, and the second time when they introduced a format called Modern, which was so popular that the Pokemon trading card game copied it too, and people love it because it extends the lives of their collections.
So why, despite all of the obvious peril, do so many games just getting off the ground implement set rotation? I mean, aside from trying to sell...
Okay, you know what? Just the fact that he has the card set rotation in this video. All right, okay, this guy might be a real one. I like
more
that.
Cards.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
It's done in an effort to look legit. A rite of passage to finally join the set rotating big boys and be just like Magic. Huh. A lot of games try to be just like Magic now that I think about it. You can stop now. No, really, you can stop! But predictably, this frequently backfires. You see, a lot of new, promising card games fall victim to something that I call the 2-year curse.
This video is well made.
Where the game shuts down and ends production, or at least shrinks to the point of irrelevance after roughly 2 years of existing. It's a phenomenon I've talked about before. The 2-year curse can happen for a number of reasons, usually involving a combination of the game's novelty wearing
Y'all know how I
off
feel about
and
Bleach.
a failure to innovate, and in this case, set rotation can only do harm. You see, when a hyped up new game is released, it tends to be the base set that sells the best among any other sets. And when the base set gets rotated out, along with the vast majority of the cards you've sold, that's what a lot of the stragglers still playing take as their cue to leave. Hence why rotation after the first year can lead to death in the second. Not to mention, if somebody hears of your game and then buys a bunch of cards only to discover they're worthless
can't
or
play
soon
them.
will be worthless, that's a good chance that you just instantly lost a player. But to a lot of people, designers included, card games rotate sets because,
though.
well, that's what card games do.
I have some Dragon Ball
I
cards.
should
chat.
hopefully not
Super,
have to
but
tell
the
you how
original
thin
one.
that sort of logic is, let alone the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh!, one of the 3 biggest trading card games in the world, has never used set rotation at all.
Their success with
That's
that
us!
is
Let's
debatable,
go!
but there is something to be said.
I do kind of like that, chat. As scuffed and as bad as you can say the game is or has become or whatever, I like that. I like the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just this rebel where we've just never like had set rotation. Like, this is one of the biggest trading card games in the history of the world. One of the big 3, I guess you could say, with Pokemon and Magic. And we just don't have set rotate. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just the Wild West. Go to 5. Okay, I just want to hear this again.
That's what card games do.
I mean, we're almost at 5
I
now.
should hopefully not have to tell you how thin that sort of logic is, let alone the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh!, one of the 3 biggest trading card games in the world, has never used set rotation at all.
Yeah, you can just
Their
use
success
whatever
with
the fuck
that
you want.
is debatable, but there is something to be said for the fact that a card that I bought almost 20 years ago is still legal for play. Although, put a pin in this one.
Now, is set rotation really, as I have implied, just a cash grab that has been normalized by time? Of course.
We're so used to having our game trashed on. I expect this series to just shit on Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole time. But he praises it at every opportunity he gets. Oh, do I actually like this fat ball guy? Okay,
Of course
hold on.
not. Set rotation does
Bro, I might have to use parts of this video on one of my videos.
have its
Seriously.
benefits.
Like, I'll give this guy his production value is quite good.
By constantly refreshing the lineup of cards,
Actually,
a
no,
game
not
can
good,
avoid a
great.
phenomenon called
better
power
than
creep,
what's it called?
where more and more powerful and effective cards are
Monka S, he got to it, chat. Monka S, power creep. For actually, power creep should be a scary term for like every card game, but in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's basically just easy. Like, we're just so like immune to it. Wait, did I just? All I did was mute it. My bad. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's just like that's how we make our.
line more naturally. The designers of Magic the Gathering even have a little fun with this, bumping the power curve up a bit, only to bring it back down once the next core set drops. It also opens up design possibilities of wide-ranging and game-changing mechanics, as if an experimental mechanic doesn't work very well, or works too well, it will go away on its own, allowing for wide-reaching gameplay ideas and changes that level themselves out after a while, giving a more seasonal or arc feel to the game. However, if you are doing neither
Pendulum?
of these
Yeah, that would've
things,
been
you
nice.
should probably think twice before implementing set rotation. So, let's look at some alternatives. Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead maintains a banned and restricted list, sure, and the game has had such insane power creep that it is unrecognizable from how it started.
Holy, I love this fucking guy. Bro, I really did not think his knowledge of Yu-Gi-Oh would be like so high. Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh's power creep is I don't think there's a game in the world that can compare. Our power creep is like fucking tier -5 trillion.
Oh, let's look at some alternatives. Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead maintains a banned and restricted list, sure, and the game has had such insane power creep that it is unrecognizable from how it started, yes, but another thing they do is sometimes
League of
let some of their
Legends.
older archetypes essentially surf on this wave of rising power creep. It is a very common occurrence for Yu-Gi-Oh! To revitalize their game by giving an old archetype a new lease on life. A lot of archetypes from the game's history, such as Heroes, Lightsworn, Gladiator Beasts, and even the very oldest Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician have gotten new cards down the line to keep them competitive. This not only
Press 1 if this proves Dragoon is a Dark Magician card, chat. This proves, by the way, not Dragoon. Dragoon of Red Eyes. This proves unequivocally that Dragoon of Red Eyes, whatever that is, not Red Eyes, Dark Dragoon. Dragoon of Red Eyes is unequivocally a Dark Magician card and should only be played in Dark Magician decks.
gives new and current players something to be excited about, but can even encourage retired players to dust off their old, obsolete decks if the new support makes them viable again, as their old cards are all still legal for play.
Legacy
If your
sport,
game
baby.
is built around archetypes and specific cards that work and trigger off of each other, this sort of system might be a decent alternative to set rotation. Dragon Ball Super and games like it also do not use set rotation, instead backfilling archetypes with more basic cards in order to generate decks with higher consistency.
Oh.
I'm also gonna reach a bit and cite Hearthstone and their basic set. This is a set of cards that, no matter how many times rotation happens, will always be legal and available for play and purchase, so you know your investment will never go to waste if you buy from the basic set.
What would that be like? What would that be like, chat? Like, I don't know, like I mean, he said basic set, so like, I don't know if that could ever be applicable to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I mean, unless it was like a reprint set, Konami made like a reprint set, and they're like, look, everything in this set is immune to set rotation. Like Pot of Greed. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, does this mean like MST or something? Like, look, MST is just always gonna be playable. I mean, I guess that could kind of have, you know, work in Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Devastator for hand traps, structure decks.
Granted, the game has the luxury of being digital and thus not having to continuously do print runs of a set that all players will eventually get a complete set of, but it does create an interesting balance between a reliable set of cards that will always be around and a vibrant series of rotating options specifically designed to navigate around
This is a Yu-Gi-Oh!
them.
Song.
So let's unpin this now that we're finished discussing everything else. Now, I did mention that I bought this copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon when the game was first introduced, but I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, that card you're holding is printed before I was even born. How's that fair to me and other players who are just now getting into the game? And to that, I say, Konami's got you covered.
Reprints.
Konami is a huge fan of reprinting their most important and staple cards, where their starter decks these days are more like half a set of new toys and the other half an assortment of
Reprint,
staple
baby.
cards everybody should
This ain't
own.
Magic.
Blue Eyes White
it's
Dragon
5
is
Ds,
one
okay.
of the most reprinted monster cards in the game. And it doesn't just work for Yu-Gi-Oh! Reprints are a vital part of any trading card game, whether they use rotation or not. At the same time that Magic the Gathering introduced their revised version of set rotation, they also unveiled the Unlimited system, known today as the yearly core sets, where a number of important, iconic, and staple cards are kept in circulation by being printed in newer sets that are still in legal standard. Well made.
For any of you guys who play Magic, do they always change the artwork of the card? Because I'm noticing these cards have different artworks. It's the same card. Is that done, chat? Like, is this done so that the original can still retain its value? Where you reprint the card, but you always make sure it has different artwork? Just watch the whole video. I mean, I honestly think this is kind of fascinating. Like, I didn't expect this to be good, but it's pretty good. I think he shits on Magic hard, and I love it. But is this a thing in Magic, chat? Because again, my Magic knowledge is like 0. So do they always reprint with like different artworks to make sure that the originals have like they retain their? Okay, someone's saying yes.
Kept in circulation by being printed in newer sets that are still in legal standard. Well-made games with rotation don't just rip the rug out from under you. They rotate out the set, yes, but drop you onto a nice cushion of staple cards that you can continue to use. This really takes the edge out of rotation because if a lot of your collection can still be used, then that feeling of investment sticks around. The Pokemon card Switch, which I would say is the single most balanced card in the entire game, has never been out of circulation from the very first time it was printed over 20 years ago.
Wow,
It
so
might
many
not
different
even be a
arts, too.
bad idea to do the sort of unlimited run featuring a ton of cards from your base set the same way Magic the Gathering did, bringing forward the cards people enjoyed and perhaps leaving behind the stuff that didn't work out so well or is ruining your game, like those Lotus cards. Don't even try it. I see you there. And people love it when cards get reprinted. I remember a while back when Magic the Gathering reprinted the classic Lightning Bolt card, and it caused a bit of a shock. 1.5 shocks to be precise. Hey, card humor. It lets old players wax nostalgic and show off cards from their collection and gives new players a chance to wield the powers they've only heard of in legend. You can get new artwork and proper errata text. Pokemon actually does an entire set at the end of the corresponding generation of video games, which is sort of a greatest hits lineup in order to give those cards one last hurrah. Although, quick caveat.
This guy gets my thumbs up, chat, just because he pronounced Pokemon right. He didn't call it Pokemon, Poke-A-mon.
here.
Just on that alone,
Time
he
for
gets
another
a thumbs
idea,
up from me.
bad idea.
This is
Good
Animaniacs,
idea.
by the way.
Reprinting an old card in a new set.
Bad idea.
Reprinting an old card with a new name.
The end.
Now, of course, there will be speculative buyers out there who insist that the idea of reprinting cards is detestable as it lowers the value of their collection.
Chat, who does this sound like? Reprint bad. Who does this sound like? Someone who hasn't been in our stream and well, he hasn't been here in a while.
Now, of course, there will be speculative buyers out there who insist that the idea of reprinting cards is detestable as it lowers the value of their collection. Ignore these people. They aren't paying you to keep that card out of print the way hundreds of people will pay you for a chance to get the card for themselves. If you don't believe me, Magic once made something called the reserve list to try to appease speculative buyers, and they consider it the worst decision they have ever made. Yes, worse than Jace the Mind Sculptor. Creating him, banning him, either way, not as much regret as the reserve list. I mean, don't overdo it, all things in moderation. Chronicles taught us that lesson. You can make it a rare in the reprint sets or tie it to a special bundle or something.
Now, aside from the fact that it allows older players to be nice and snooty over the fact that they have the original print runs of these cards, research by Magic the Gathering themselves actually uncovered that in more recent times, when they reprinted an older card, the value of that older card actually went up, because now it was legal for play again and thus was in higher demand. And just because a card gets reprinted doesn't mean it's going to drop all of the other versions of that card in value. The card Effect Veiler is a common Yu-Gi-Oh! Staple so prevalent it's basically printed in every starter deck, and yet the ultimate rare version of it is still valued at about $100. Speculative buyer complaints about reprints are bogus.
But that's why it's important to consider whether set rotation is the right thing to do for your game. Rotation isn't a monetization tool, a cure for stagnation, or a rite of passage. What it does is it enables game designers to, again, try something really out there with their game design. If your game is stagnating and you are considering set rotation, try something absolutely crazy in your next set. Now is not the time to be playing it safe. Throw around a new card type, a new mechanic or region. Try something risky or even something foolish. Pokemon and Magic are constantly trying out new things, confident in the knowledge that anything unpopular or overblown will just lapse and be done with. Doesn't stop them from cherry-picking the ideas that work properly and continuing to use them down the line, though. So yeah, game designers and players, set rotation is not the monumentous occasion you might think it is. If you engage in it without a plan, you are dooming your game to failure. You have to understand how games with rotation use that rotation to constantly try out new things to shake up the status quo, and how games that don't use rotation leverage reprints and additional support to keep old cards in the game.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, set rotation is not a cure. It's not a rite of passage. It is just a tool. Keep that in mind, and you too can avoid falling victim to one of the 7 deadly sins of game design.
Wow. Can I get a what's it called, chat? Can I get a clap for this video? This was incredibly well done. He used Devil May Cry, 5Ds, I noticed Animaniacs, Rondo Brothers, I don't know this, Pokemon, and Steven Universe.
All right, guys, it's...
Let's see. How many other premium videos does he have, though? All right. Channel ain't looking so hot recently. Damn. You know what, Chad? He might be like me. Well, no, these are like reviews. Like day-to-day basis, not necessarily good, but when his premium videos hit, they hit. Although I can't tell if he's a card channel or not. Clearly, this is him at a younger age. Is he the MegaCapitalG? I don't know. But that video, like, he needs to make more of these. Like, this video was pretty damn good. Oh! So he does. He has a bunch of... Oh, I see. So he has multiple of this... The seven deadly sins of TCG design. And all of these videos have popped off. I see. Every single one of them has over 100. Yeah, okay. Fair enough, yeah. That's very good. He has 7 of them. I might watch more of those, Chad. That video was, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be boring, but no, that was really good. Surprisingly, he has 7 of them. His editing's really good. Press 1 if I should be inspired to you know, improve my editing, chat, after watching that video. I'm not gonna lie, like, man, looking at that, maybe I need to step up my game. Try to get my editing up. I could probably learn all that stuff, right? 1, you should. 2, you won't. True. Watch the other Sin videos. Maybe on another stream. Wait, is Gage here? I saw someone at Nimnim, but I don't see him in the chat. What the? I can't scroll. Okay, there it is. It wasn't working. Oh, what's up, Gage? How are you? Oh, baby, quality content. Let's go. Yeah, I just found this guy, Gage. I just watched this video called "Set Rotation: The 7 Deadly Sins of TCG Designs." You should watch this video. This is a great video. I've never heard of this YouTuber before. And he talks about Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dragon Ball, Magic. It's a really good video, and it's produced quite well too.